I started putting the material for what was to become the Creators of Peace Circle together at a conference for Creators of Peace in 1999 in India. We needed some workshopping material, and so I brought together some thoughts that have been on my mind for some time. This whole question of, well, what is peace anyway, had been something that I had pondered a lot. Of course, the absence of conflict is the first image that most people entertain. That sense of not being troubled, the absence of guns and bombs and all those horrors, conflict of any sort. And of course that is one dimension of peace. It frees up lives and resources and space for creativity, for meeting the needs of people. And after all, I think real peace, true peace, is that meeting the needs of people, meeting all the needs of people, relational, material, physical, health, economic. So in fact, real peace is a society where all these needs are being met. Probably never when they have been met. I think that would be the end. But where they are being met and everyone is involved in it. So peace then becomes a dynamic situation, so much more challenging and interesting. I was keen to explore the fact that societies where there's unemployment, domestic violence, hunger, homelessness, hopelessness, do not have real peace. So many of our more Western cities, more prosperous cities, even where there's no apparent war, still often contain under the surface of the community all the unresolved grievances and unhealed hurts of history, all the potential for violence, for conflict, for aggression of all sorts. So I was keen that we let go of some of our limited concepts of peace so that we can embrace the fullness of how peace can really look as we address all these critical needs, moral, spiritual, material. And Mahatma Gandhi said it so well when he said, look, there is no way to peace. So we all go shock and horror. And then he said, peace is the way. That puts a wholly different spin on it, doesn't it? If peace becomes the way, not the conclusion, it's not the end of things. It's not it's not the utopia necessarily that we're dreaming of, but it's a way. And that it means really the way we live all the time. And that is a totally different challenge. Peace is the way we relate, the way we think, the way we live. So I think that sort of conclusion about peace and what that will then mean to each of us individually and as a collective, the costs of that, as well as the benefits, puts peace in a whole different bracket. I've often thought that as an ordinary person, I can consciously live to create pools of peace around me where anyone is accepted, nobody is excluded, pools of warmth and challenge and learning, that each one of us can create a pool of peace wherever we are, and the pools merge together and create an ocean. It is understandable, but I believe short-sighted, for women to claim the moral high ground when it comes to peace. Until women are able to understand themselves as often the perpetrators and perpetuators of the causes of unpeace, we can't really fully play our part as peace creators. I ran the first Creators of Peace Circle in 2003 with a diverse group of women in Adelaide, South Australia. The impetus at that point for the Peace Circle was my awareness of a world full of displaced people, currently millions, displaced by conflict or climatic conditions or economic situations, disease, and I thought of the homelessness of all these displaced people desperately looking for a new place of belonging and safety. And I was aware that in many of our more established communities, cities around the world, dominant cultures were very often reluctant to make space for strangers. It's always been like that. And yet, in our diversity is such strength as well as character and new cultures being born. In a country like Australia, the dominant Anglo-Saxon culture has had to make way for waves of migrants from Southeast Asia, especially, and Eastern Europe at the end of the Second World War. And of course, we still struggle to build the right sort of relationships with our original Australian inhabitants, the Aboriginal people. So we all come from cultures which are continuously evolving and growing and being reshaped and being challenged. So in the light of this, I saw the Peace Circle as a place where women of diversity could come together and really get to know each other and lose their fear of each other and begin to think in terms of creating a hospitable heart of welcome for those in desperate need.